Colombier County for over 50 years.
It's David Hayes with a message that could save you thousands. Jed Lawyers never charges you up front. You heard me. You pay absolutely nothing unless they win your case. No gimmicks, no surprise bills, just real legal help after a car crash or injury. They're right in downtown Panama City on McKenzie Avenue, fighting hard for people just like you. Call 850-852-0000 or head to jedwins.com to get started.
Do you want to eat like a local? The Local 115 is now open. Local drinks, local sports, and local food. Delicious oysters, crab cakes, steamed seafood, gumbos, salads, paninis, wings, wine, and cold beer. Nothing fried. That's right. No fried foods at Local 115. Amazing local food with an exciting local sports and mural theme. Eat like a local at the Local 115. 115 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
MLB is incoming and you won't miss a game. Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most major markets. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $45 a month with our promo code ESPNNW. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the Scorpion TV logo.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios. It's the Inside Drive. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Thursday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive, our 2-year anniversary show. And we got the guy back in studio with us. That's Jay Henley. How the hell are you, Jay?
I'm doing good. Happy anniversary.
Happy 2-year anniversary. That is the fastest 2-year anniversary in my life. And also lots transpired in the last 2 years, so it's been a little wild, but always a lot of fun. We appreciate our listeners, everybody who voted for us for Best of Bay, everybody who engages with us every day. And, of course, we can't do the show without you guys, so very much appreciate that. And, of course, our sponsors as well. We appreciate Golf Plus, PCB, or Dothan and PCB being our studio sponsor here for the Inside Drive on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9. Thank you for turning on that light. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I usually remember to turn on that light, but
it's not my only job.
That's true. Yeah. And when you're not here, I have to fill in for you, and it gets a little stressful.
That's right.
A little stressful. But also 101.9 down there in Port St. Joe. Jay Henley, where do you download our free mobile app?
The Google Play or Apple Store.
Confident answer there. Confident answer
yes,
right there. But yeah, just download the free mobile app, Google Play, Apple Store. All you got to do is search
104.3.
Boom, download it. Lots of contests. We just had a contest wrap up on that mobile app, so make sure you got it downloaded. You can take us anywhere you want to go. And of course, lots of contests, lots of fun stuff in there. You can also head over to ESPNPC.com. Head Scorpion TV, Jay. Scorpion. It was Scorpion TV last time you were here.
No, it wasn't.
No?
It was Lucid.
Lucid Streams. Well, now it's the old Scorpion TV, which makes it a little more dangerous, but it's dangerous because you're saving a ton of money on your streaming services with code ESPNNW. Just going to be $45 a month, over 5,000 streaming channels on demand, over 10,000 movie channels on demand. I know that's kind of your wheelhouse there, the Hallmark channel, and then watching movies on demand.
Absolutely.
And you can do that all on Scorpion TV.
Do we have scorpions here?
Yes, we do.
Do we?
We do.
Yes.
Yep. Not the big boys, but the little ones.
Gotcha.
You know, the big boys are really in, like, out there in the desert. and-
Australia.
Yeah. Australia's just a scary place when it comes to venomous and poisonous animals and insects and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, Australia's can be a scary place. But yeah, great to have you back in studio. I'm going to put you on the spot here sometime in this segment for a little nostalgia because we haven't had one in quite some time. But do want to mention at 12:40. If you guys give us a call, we're going to take the fifth caller going out of that 12:20 segment into the break. Fifth caller is going to have a chance to win a Great Golf Plus 2-year anniversary giveaway. Tell us what we got, Jay.
Oh, my goodness. We have a Titleist hat.
Yeah, and that's for you Georgia Bulldogs out there. It looks like it's a little black and red, little Georgia theme there. Little Georgia theme.
We have a Bushnell Wingman mini speaker and audible GPS.
That's pretty cool right there. You can just hang it right off the bag. But I think that's about a $100 value right there.
That is a $100 value.
Not bad.
We have a $10 voucher, Golf Plus.
Two of them, actually. $20 there to Golf Plus.
Yeah. What else we got here, Ryan?
I know we got a Golf Plus T-shirt, and then Jay, tell us what that is. That looks pretty cool. That's one, obviously the mini I would love to have, but that's a beautiful thing too.
Headwear care kit, cleaner, refreshener, and brush. Live Lucky, Black Clover.
There you go. To keep that white, you need a little bit of that on that Tricks On hat right now.
Yes, I do.
Tell where you touch it with your hand. White hats are tough, but you know if you win this contest, you get yourself a great cleaning kit.
Yes, sir.
And of course, a beautiful cotton Golf Plus T-shirt. I have that same one. So comfortable.
Double extra large.
It's all right. We got others. We can swap out that T-shirt if you're not a double X.
Gotcha.
And I was going to throw in an Inside Drive T-shirt as well. So when we find out who wins, I get their size, and I'll bring one in for that prize pack as well.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so if you guys, I'd love for people to call in if you have a favorite Inside Drive memory. Obviously, we've been doing this for 2 years. And I can't really think of anything off the top of my head except a lot of your Jay-isms that we've went through over the years, and all the you come out of nowhere with knowing some pretty crazy fun facts. So, but if anybody wants to give us a call, 850-215-6290. Love to hear your Inside Drive favorite memory. Hopefully, we can get the phones ringing here in just a minute. But we do have two guests coming up today. You know what's coming up this Saturday, Jay?
What is this Saturday?
The first leg of the
Kentucky Derby.
Look at you. Good job. The Kentucky Derby. So that means we're going to have Alan Sandage. He's the sports director up there at ESPN Richmond, but is a big-time pony guy. So he's going to give us I got lots of questions lined up for him, and anxious to hear who he's got for his picks to win the Derby. I remembered, because you can bet on horses in Florida for sure, because you can go up. I know Steve Wiley goes up to the track up there in Ebro to bet. I know it's not an active track anymore, but you can still bet on the horses. Right. But the Twin Spires app as well, I was looking at it early, and I forgot I used that last year and actually have some cash in there. So I got to get in there on the Derby, and so I need to know what Alan's got going on because I need to know what horses to bet on.
Yeah, what we learned the last couple of years, like weather is if you're.
I mean,
there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, because it's a dirt track up there at Churchill Downs. So if you get a lot of weather, the horse has got to be a little bit of a mutter.
Right.
If it's dry, sometimes they run fast. And then I got questions about, because some horses, there's a new documentary on Netflix called, I got it on my question sheet for Alan. I think it's called Race for the Crown, and it really goes behind the scenes with the trainers, the owners, the jockeys, and you really get to see that. And it was all of the whole Triple Crown series last year during the season. So learned a lot, and you learn that some horses like to start on the inside, some horses like to start on the outside. But I know Alan is an expert when it comes to horse racing, so I'm anxious to get him on the line here in the next segment. Jay, what you got going on? Here you are. Give yourself a chance to plug some of the big stuff you got coming up.
I don't know what I got going on, Ryan.
And seems to be the theme with you.
I'm here today.
Which we're excited about.
You know,
here today, gone tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. What's going on? What's going on?
Your summer, you got a lot of summer stuff coming up. I do know that.
Thank you for that reminder.
That's what you got. You're here. Get
I'm here.
Information out there.
I got to. So our first junior camp is June 3rd through the 6th,
which is literally a month away.
It is. Ages 12 to 15.
Okay, so that's a little bit of an older one. It'd be good.
The glow stuff is here, and I'm excited to get that.
I'm excited to see how that goes, and
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't have to take out any extra liability insurance for that one.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah, June 3rd through the 6th. And then I'll just do the June one. June 10th through the 12th are the little kids, ages 5 to 8.
Nice.
And then June 17th through the 20th, ages 9 to 11.
So you got 3 separate age groups for camps. That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, and 6 to 9 for ages 9 to 11 and ages 12 to 15, and then 6 to 8:30 p.m. for the little ones.
Nice. They build you a shade structure out there yet?
No. They
need to.
I know.
They need to.
We're still waiting on the short game area to kind of come
not
open.
Completely grown in yet?
Not grown in quite yet.
Okay. That'll be good, though. That'll be a nice added feature for you in your camps and your clinics because, short game can be a good place to bring all of them. What's your favorite age group out of those 3? I think you said 5 to 8, 9 to 11, and 12 to 15.
Yeah, kind of like that 10 to 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're starting to really understand the game of golf.
Right.
Their brains are a little bit more developed. That's what's so tough about golf. People always used to ask me, when should I get my kids into golf?
Yeah.
Oh, whenever you want, but from ages, 3, 4, 5, 6, just put the club in their hand and try to get them to make contact. Because it's such a complicated game that, until their brain starts to develop a little bit more and they can understand cause and effect, just put a club in their hand and let them make contact.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. And then you can start fine-tuning a little bit because the game is super tough.
Yeah, because if you get a 13 or 14-year-old, we talked about this weeks ago, I feel like, but if you're 13, 14 and you're getting into the game, you're so behind the curve by that point. Like, you know what I'm saying?
In this day and age, absolutely.
And it's always good to play multiple sports, but golf should be kind of the first and foremost as like a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, just to get a club in their hands and all that, and then they can transition into a teenager golfer a little bit better than someone that's just beginning.
Yeah. And it's kind of like adults too, right? You get somebody that starts the game of golf after they're the age of 40. It's going to be really, really hard because as you get older, that muscle memory starts to kind of go away. It's just the reality of the situation. So the earlier you can start golf, the better, because it can be a lifelong activity or sport, depending on how deep you kind of go into it.
Yeah.
Before I put you on the spot, I did want to give a shout out to, we called her that one time over there, and Magnolia Bay Animal Hospital had to take Ollie and Ellie there this morning to get their annual checkups. Just such nice people, And Dr. Carson Tierney is a fantastic veterinarian. So just wanted to give them a quick shout out. Also want to talk about, I heard James talking about this yesterday afternoon. I didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, but former FSU quarterback has officially retired from football. You remember he suffered that big leg injury, broke his leg, a pretty nasty one against University of North Alabama, of all teams to lose to there. But Jordan Travis has officially said he is retiring. He has come to an end. On Wednesday, Jets quarterback Jordan Travis announced he has been advised to retire from football. The 2024 fifth-round pick suffered a devastating leg injury towards the end of the 2023 season when he was starring for FSU. He posted a photo of his farewell letter. You can go check that out on social media. You can follow him on Instagram, and you can see what that letter actually says. But the Jets intended to place Travis on the reserve retired list. The 24-year-old spent his entire rookie year on the reserve non-football injury list while rehabbing his leg injury. On November 18th, 2023, my life took an unprecedented turn, Travis said in a statement. I gave everything I had to the rehab process, but despite all my efforts, my leg never responded the way we hoped. After much prayer and consultation with the doctors, medical experts, and my agents, I've been medically advised to retire from the game I love so deeply. In his final year for the Seminoles, Travis made 11 starts and led the team to an 11-0 record while throwing for 2,734 yards, 20 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions, adding 7 rushing scores. He completed 64.1% of his passes and finished 5th in the voting for the 2023 Heisman Trophy race, establishing himself as an intriguing NFL draft prospect. Unfortunately, the injury in the game against North Alabama derailed Travis's future. Florida State also suffered mightily, becoming the first undefeated Power 5 conference champion to be left out of the college football players. Voters admitted that the controversial decision was mainly due to Jordan Travis's injury. Still very controversial to this day. The Jets still took a chance by using their 5th-round pick to select Travis through New York. Though New York may not have been the best landing spot for him, ESPN's Rich Kamini reported that Travis's agent in March that the Jets rushed his rehab and caused a setback for his recovery. Though he remained optimistic about the Signal Caller's chances to be ready for the 2025 season, it is now clear that a return to the football field is out of the question for Travis. He will have to pursue a new career much sooner than he ever would expected. It is unfortunate that I was unable to get back on the field after working so hard, Jets general manager Darren Moogie said in a statement, "We support his decision and wish him only the best." Why do you get a degree there in college, Jay?
For exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis, obviously his football career didn't pan out, but hopefully he can fall back on that degree, maybe getting into coaching and stuff like that. But tough to hear there from the former FSU star, who that last season he was just having an unbelievable season. To only throw 2 interceptions is fantastic. Although he did not play a single snap in the NFL, he still ended up making $724,276. He did have a 4-year contract worth $4.274 million. He had a signing bonus of $254,000, and he also had cash that was owed to him of $840,000. So he ended up getting just shy of $725,000. So hopefully you can do a little bit with that. It's not it's not a small stack of change.
No,
there,
not at all.
But yeah. So Jordan Travis is officially retired.
So what happened to him? Did something happen to him?
Yeah, he got a horrible, Joe Theismann leg break when
You're
he
back.
played UNA.
You're back, because I literally just explained to you what happened.
Yeah.
Good to have you back in the
I was
studio.
just testing you.
Yeah,
just to
thank
make
you.
sure.
Yeah.
You got an A+.
Gruesome. No, it was actually James that answered you. I was just sitting here stunned, but not surprised, and certainly glad to have you back in the studio.
He's back.
He is back.
You can rally.
And speaking of back, time to put you on the spot. It is...
It's Jay's Golf Tip of the Week.
You've been with us 2, maybe 3 times in the last couple months, so you should have plenty of golf tips of the week up there in the old noggin.
Mulvey, what do you want to learn?
I know a lot about this game. I'm asking you what the listeners want to learn.
Give me something. Give me something.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, James will give you something.
I'm at the 8th putting green at the mini golf course.
All right, perfect. I love where this is going.
Now, I'm holding the putter backwards. What do you advise me to do?
Like backwards as you're holding the head of the putter and the grip's down, or you just got it flipped?
Oh, I'm just holding it right in the middle. I'm going to go throw it at somebody.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, God.
Because those mini golf putters are like the old Titleist bullseye putters, where you can hit it from either side.
That's true.
Left and right-handed.
Yeah, so you got the reverse overlap grip going on the.
He's holding it like a hockey stick. He's a hockey player.
A hockey stick.
Be happy, Gilmore, and just be you, man.
Just feel it. Just get the feelings going with it.
It's all in the hips.
It is. It's all in the hips.
Yeah. Putting, though, you don't need a lot of hip action, though, right?
No. Oh, speaking of, yeah, there you go.
Speaking of
from the hips down, you always want to feel like you're standing in concrete.
Yeah. That's your stable base when putting. If you get outside of that base, it's going to completely mess up your putting swing path.
Absolutely. You see a lot of knees moving around.
No knees. No knees.
No knees.
Nope.
Yeah.
Putting is very different than the golf swing, the full golf swing that it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Be very silent with your body.
Where does the putter swing from?
From the chest area.
Yeah.
Maybe the shoulders.
Okay.
Like you're rocking a baby to sleep. Night-night.
Sleepy night-night time for the baby.
Sleepy night-night for the baby.
So don't throw my wrist into it like when I'm swinging a baseball bat.
No.
Oh, no.
No, you actually, in all seriousness, and we were kind of joking there too, but in all seriousness, you want to almost feel like your wrists are taped together, keeping them from bending. Because if you bend your wrists at all, you think about that putter face being, perpendicular to your putting target line. You move it at all, any little bit like that, you talk about the impact that it has on the actual putt.
Right.
Is still as you can keep that putter face, the better, and just really let that putter rock with your shoulders.
Yeah.
Now, do you take it straight back, straight through, or do you have a little rotation in your putting stroke?
I'm more of a straight back, straight through.
A lot easier to keep the face square doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll plug Alan in on this. So I have a center shafted putter.
You're still one of those weirdos.
Yeah, I know. And so what that does is
And no offense to anybody else but Jay that uses a center shafted putter.
But I have such a straight back and straight through that helps me.
Yeah. You couldn't really do that if you had that heel shafter to the plumber's neck or any of that kind of stuff.
And that'll help. So I mean, like if you're looking to kind of, if you're having 36 putts around, you want to be around 30 is the magic number. That right there, go see Alan, have him look at your putting stroke and make sure you may be a center shafted putter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you remember the old Seymour putters?
Oh, I do.
Did you trust those? Because those where you had to have your eyes right over the golf ball because you had to cover up that little red spot in the back of the putter, right?
Yeah.
But they were all center shafted, right?
They were. It seemed. I saw less typically whenever I was with a Seymour, but.
Seymour putts.
Seymour putts.
Great slogan there. And, of course, Zach Johnson, I believe, won the Masters the year he did with a Seymour
With
putter,
a Seymour?
which obviously gave them a lot of momentum on the sales side of things. But that putter wasn't for everybody. I always like to have, the plumber's neck where you're just a little offset so my eyes are more over the golf ball than, at it or behind it. But, yeah. It was a good question for the mini golf courses.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jay.
Those mini golf courses are always a little fast on the stimp meter.
They are.
Yeah.
What do you think, 13?
Easy. Some of them are even more, depending on how new their artificial turf is.
Right.
But you got to renovate those, too. That stuff doesn't last forever.
No.
Not as expensive as a full renovation on a golf course, but it's tough to renovate it.
Have you ever played putt-putt back in the day? And obviously being a PGA professional and, you get some random person you're playing putt-putt with that's never played golf, and you see that you're only one down through 7 holes.
That's the beautiful thing about mini golf.
Right.
And to be honest, I haven't played mini golf with a lot of strangers. I'm not showing up as a single at the mini golf courses and asking for a game. I typically have a group, a threesome or a foursome with me. But hey, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should show up at one and
just hang out on the first hole.
Yeah, hang out on the first tee and see who you can get in with.
Just sit there, get up to the first hole, get a +7. Oh, man, I got nothing today. How about a $5 bet on this next one?
The art of sandbagging with James Fife.
I'm going to go to one of them later on. Just hey, I got a tee time at 12:37.
Got any open slots? Got a twilight rate?
If we TikTok that or something, man, it would blow up.
It'd be good. You should call the mini golf place and be like, do you have any marshals out there on the course today? What about the beverage cart? Is the beverage cart running? All the questions you call a regular golf course for. Yeah. That would be great.
How much is cart rental?
Is it walking only or can I take a cart? Well, you should do that. Make a TikTok out of it.
We're doing it at 12:20.
There you go. Well, we have a guest at 12:20. We have Alan here coming up next. Speaking of that, it is 11:20, and we got to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to the Inside Drive 2-year anniversary show Golf Plus giveaway coming up at 12:40.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Partly sunny this afternoon and evening with a high near 80 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 72. The same tomorrow, around 80 with some sun and a wind around 8 miles per hour out of the south. Partly cloudy in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms Saturday and warm around 78. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This is Patrick with Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control.
Your home is your piece of paradise. Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control can protect your home from unwanted bugs and insects. These pests can cause damage, bring in germs, spread bacteria, viruses, and other problems. To stop and eliminate this from happening, our pest control service is what you need. Call Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control at 850-890-5820, 850-890-5820, or look us up on Facebook at Turf Pro PC.
Beach Pizza, formerly Marcy's Pizza, is back with more hours and more pizza. Beach Pizza has new owners and now open every day, 11 to 11. Pizza by the slice, whole pies, wings, pretzels, garlic knots, and more choice eats in East PCB. I finally tried a slice, and it was a thin crust, totes, cheesy slice of paradise. 8815 B Thomas Drive, online at beachpizzapcb.com. Call ahead, 850-775-4053.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot. Hot damn.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Our 2-year anniversary show wouldn't be a 2-year anniversary show, of course, with my good friend Jay Henley in studio with me, but our good friend of the show as well, Alan Sandage, who joined us, I believe, maybe it was a couple weeks ago now, to preview the NFL Draft. And, of course, now, being the big pony guy that he is, we had to have him on again to preview the Kentucky Derby coming up this Saturday. Alan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. You sitting in the studio right now?
Yeah, I figured I'd try this instead of putting you guys on speakerphone and stuff. I hate poor quality audio.
No, you sound fantastic right now.
So I figured this would be better.
All right, let's jump right into it because I got tons of questions for you leading up to, obviously, your picks for the Derby this year. I found out that I still have about $60 in my Twin Spires account, so I need to get some tips from you before the Derby happens on Saturday night.
All right, let's get it done.
How many horses are running in this year's Kentucky Derby? I know it's usually, like, the field is usually 20, but have there been a couple scratches so far?
So I'm looking right now. I've got my TVG app up, and we talked to a couple folks from the track. Haven't heard of any scratches or anybody potentially on the fence for being scratched. So we should have our field of 20. In the case one of them scratches, there is a Flavian Pratt horse. Hopefully it's Beza is what the horse's name is. But there's obviously some replacements on standby just in case. But for right now, it should be 20 horses.
Nice, nice. The biggest race in the Triple Crown, I know that. Is there any other races outside of the Kentucky Derby that run this many horses as well?
Not to my knowledge in America. I'm sure maybe in Europe there's some turf races that have it. In fact, the gate that they have for the 20 horses comes from some folks in Australia. So I would imagine Australia has big fields like this before, because the design of the gate, whoever designed it must have known or has experienced this often. It used to be a 14-horse gate, and then a side gate of 6 horses. But there was like a disadvantage to post 14 and 15. They found out, so they just scrapped it and created a 20-gate horse. Or 20-horse gate.
That's a big old gate there, Jay, that they got to get out there on the track.
What do you think is the average weight and height of these jockeys? Do you
Don't
have
ask
any
me.
idea?
You ask Alan.
Alan?
Alan's the expert.
Well, I will tell you, Jay, they're not our size, for sure. In fact, I would say the average jockey looks about as big as my son, and you guys have seen pictures of him. Tristan's a pretty tall and lanky but stocky fifth grader. Lord, he looks like a fifth grader, second grader. But I'm looking now. 126 is what it says on the app. That's about right. Yep. And then the crazy part is if they come in overweight, they announce it basically.
Some Wegovy.
Yeah,
the week before.
None of them are probably over 5'7".
Yeah. It's kind of, if you're not big enough to play football, basketball, you can end up being a jockey, Jay.
There you go.
A jockey. So there is a sport for these smaller gentlemen out there. And, horse racing is certainly that. Speaking of jockeys, Jay, last year, jockey Brian Hernandez Jr. and trainer Kenny McPeak teamed up to win the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby with Torpedo Anna, and then, of course, Mystic Dan, which you remember last year in the wet track, went wire to wire, respectively. That was the first time since 1952 that the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby were won by the same jockey and trainer. Alan, I know probably the answer to this question. Any chance that happens again this year?
No, I think it's just based on how everything played out. I think the owners and trainers they got together. They don't have the combinations this year.
Gotcha.
I saw like Baffert and Mike Smith are together for the actual Kentucky Derby, but I think Baffert's got a whole different jockey for the Oaks.
Gotcha.
So it just didn't play out that way this year. But real quick, just for the record, Torpedo Anna is like an all-time great filly. I love to talk about Torpedo Anna because I won a lot of money off Torpedo Anna. I'm talking, even in her one loss, the one loss she had was against the guys. It was against Fiercely. And I still made money off of that because I had her win, play, show, and she came in second. But, such a legendary horse. She's the first filly to win Horse of the Year since 2011. It's hard to replicate that kind of success.
Yeah.
For the jockey and the trainer.
Yeah, just special. Jay.
Yes.
What's second place called? He just said it.
Just
see if you're paying attention.
No.
Place. Win, place, show.
Win, place, show.
Yes.
All right.
If you get all three of those in order, what is it called?
Triple Crown.
At least you had the T right. Trifecta.
Trifecta. Yeah, there we go.
What's a trifecta box?
Wouldn't have a clue.
That's okay. Trifecta box is when you get the first three horses, but not necessarily in the exact order. You can have those first three horses in any order. It just, makes your bet more because it's a multiplier at that point.
I grew up around pigs and chickens. I didn't grow around.
I grew up around pigs and chickens too. That's how I got into horse racing.
Yeah, see, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, all that good stuff. We were talking about it a little bit earlier, very briefly. Netflix has a new documentary, Alan. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Race for the Crown, which kind of takes you on a journey with the owners, trainers, and jockeys. And last year, it's basically it's almost like Full Swing, but for track racing, and it's pretty cool. I didn't realize how some horses are owned by multiple people, multiple groups. In your opinion, who is the best horse owner right now in horse racing?
So I thought about this long and hard because I've wanted to be a part of it, but MyRacehorse.com, and it's not an advertisement, seriously, MyRacehorse.com allows you to buy like a stake in horses, so it's like collective ownership, and it's basically easy for guys like us that don't have the generational wealth required to take care of a horse.
These people are so rich.
And they actually were the ownership group for the 2024 Preakness winner, Seize the Gray, which was a big deal. But as far as coolness goes, I'll just go ahead and default to the one face I recognize if he was walking down the street, and that's Jason Worth, former Philadelphia Philly and Washington National. I think he had a 10% stake in Dornoch last year, but Dornoch was just like one of the best horses out. And then they've got a horse in there this year. I forgot the name of it. I think it's like Japanese bred. But he's more invested, and he's trying to build up something. I think the name of his ownership group is like 28 or 28 or something like that in relation to his number that he had when he was a player. But I would say he's cool. And then like Dwayne Lucas is pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw him a little bit on the documentary. But that's the thing. I mean, horse ownership for a thoroughbred racehorse is extremely expensive, and not for the common folk. Because, like Alan said, you have to have the stables, you have to have the trainers, you have to have the food, and a lot of these people have more than one horse in their ownership as well. But you get a Triple Crown win, now all of a sudden you're getting a lot of money, and that horse is worth a lot of money, Jay. Just like you, we put you out to pasture and let you make some other horses out there. But
yeah, and just for the record, I misspoke. Dwayne Lucas is a trainer. I combined everything.
Yeah, there you go. Alan, what's the best starting slot out of those 20 spots, or does it solely depend on the horse and how they run?
So I was thinking about this myself because I did an interview with Travis Stone, the track announcer for the Kentucky Derby, and I asked him what he thought, just because everybody's got a different opinion on it, but why not ask the guy that's watched the last like 15 of them? And it kind of varies, honestly. It used to be you just wanted to be somewhere like Post 5. Post 5 has the most wins in the history of the Kentucky Derby, and it's only 10. And the Kentucky Derby's run 151 times. So obviously, if you break it down by the numbers, it doesn't really matter where you start. But I can tell you, Post 17, nobody has ever won there. So I would say Post 17 is where you don't want to be. And then for me personally, I wouldn't want to be anywhere inside of Post 8. I feel like, especially with the field of 20, if you get bumped, you can recover. But if you get bumped or you have a bad start all the way down by the rail, it's virtually impossible to save enough ground to have a winning trip.
Yeah, so much traffic down there near the inside. If you don't get out quick and you get caught up, that makes for a long and tough race. All right, next question on the docket is a personal question for you there, Alan. What's your favorite leg of the Triple Crown?
So I went with the Kentucky Derby, but not because, it's the Kentucky Derby, but honestly because everybody knows the event.
Yeah.
Like, people don't really tune in for the Preakness. They don't really tune in for Belmont. They should, obviously. Yeah, they should. But, for the most part, you tell somebody a horse and that horse wins the Kentucky Derby, they're not going to forget it.
Yeah.
And I joke about it all the time. My friends remember more of my losses for the Kentucky Derby than they do wins for Preakness, Breeders, and the Saudi Cup. Like, I've had plenty of tracks where I've done really well, but it's just that race, people just don't forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's one of those bucket list events. Now, you went last year, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I was there last year.
That's right. That had to have been a very cool experience. What makes Churchill Downs such a unique place and unique track?
Aside from it being the longest car ride of my life, it's one of the coolest venues I've been to. And, it might sound cliche, but I would, tell people, go experience it for yourself, because the energy in that particular venue, to me, was equivalent of like a rivalry game, except for not everybody's against one another. They just want to see a really good, entertaining event.
Yeah.
Like, it was just overwhelming energy at the event. And then as far as the production goes, I never had a problem, and I never saw anybody upset. Maybe it could have been because everybody was drinking bourbon, but like, it just was one of the most smoothest run operations I've ever seen and been a part of on the media side and as a fan. And then I think, again, the pageantry of the event, like, you got signature drinks, you got signature looks. Like, it is the event of events, the Super Bowl of horse racing. So I think it just brings everybody together, and, of course, the mass appeal for the casuals who don't follow horse racing, but, you like this name, you like this number, and it's on NBC. Like, you can't miss it.
Yep, absolutely. Jay, a whopping $233.03 million were bet on the Kentucky Derby last year, the second biggest total of all time, and a massive increase from 2020's $126 million. Wow. A lot of money being thrown around on those horses.
I contributed to that pot.
There you go. Did you get any back when you contributed?
Not a lot. Actually, I did better on Friday because I was following Torpedo Anna no matter what.
Yeah.
And I had everything on Torpedo Anna, and then I gave it all back the next day.
Well, that's one of those things, too. A lot of people don't even realize, like, the Kentucky Derby is not the only race during the Kentucky Derby whole couple days. I mean, especially the day of the Derby, there's races leading up to it. As we mentioned before, the Kentucky Oaks is the big race the day before, which is extremely popular, and everybody wants to win that one, too. So it's not just that one race. There's a lot of other races going on as well. Do you think we'll ever see another Triple Crown winner in our lifetime?
So I don't want to say we will never see one, but I am a bit concerned as a fan. And again, I would consider myself like a new age fan, because before I was even allowed to gamble, I wasn't really following horses. But obviously in my adult life, I've been, following it as closely as I can. And the reason why I say I'm a little concerned is because, like, even last year, like, there should never be a question once you win the Kentucky Derby if you're running the Preakness. And the fact that there was hesitation by the team last year, and it's not the first time it's happened, it is concerning to me, because you have to want to win the Triple Crown. And I think financially speaking, like, owners are not really they're not really incentivized to take the risk of their horse getting hurt because of the quick turnaround or looking bad because the Preakness is such a different style of a race than the Kentucky Derby. The field is smaller, the distance is smaller, it's more favorable to sprinting horses, whereas the Kentucky Derby and Belmont is more favorable to tactical runs. Like, you have to take all that in consideration, and I think that they're trying to protect their investment so much that it's hard for us to imagine that we'll see one anytime soon. Because, again, if you get a lucky run in the Kentucky Derby like last year, Mr. Dan, crazy run, but not incentivized to make him look bad and do the Preakness on the quick turnaround. And then I think he did compete, and he was like second, but it's kind of a knock to the legacy that you could potentially have if you just leave them thinking, leave them guessing.
And the value of that horse when he, goes out to be to stud, and that's where if he gets hurt or something happens, you could reduce that value. Whether you just leave it from the Kentucky Derby win, like you just said, everybody's kind of guessing, is he going to put off fantastic offspring? Who knows? All right, Alan, we got about 3 minutes left. Let's dive into some of your picks for the Derby coming up. I just looked at the number 17 horse, and I got to imagine you're going to put something on the Sandman, given your Alan Sandman Sandage.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for that nickname.
You do put everybody to sleep.
The irony of it, though, is that at two separate jobs, that nickname has been given to me. So, yeah, it stands out. Plus, because I'm a degenerate, the fact is nobody's ever won from the 17th post is just going to incentivize me to buck the trend and be like, I'll get the win. I always go for the legendary picks anyway.
Right.
But, I'll have something on Sandman, and I think tactically it's not a bad horse to have in this race because it should be coming from the back. I do worry that, it could get caught up in some traffic, but that's always going to be a concern when you're talking about 20 horses. Gotcha.
So who are some of the other ones you're looking at for this race?
The favorite, number 8, Journalism, you can't overlook the fact that I think tactically this is the best horse. Because I've seen it run off the lead. I've seen it show speed figures that if it needed to be in the lead, it could do that. It's had plenty of endurance questions already answered. And then the natural running style kind of fits this particular track and Churchill, because Churchill is 10 furlongs. And I think, not fading the favorite is a good way to go. If you want to try to make some money, at least put that favorite somewhere in your exotic. So if you're doing an exacta or you're doing a trifecta, don't completely dismiss it. And I know the turnoff will probably be because the jockey and the trainer are not household names, but the horse is still a good horse.
Yeah.
So don't completely dismiss it. Sovereignty, the number 18 horse, is a deep closer. I like this horse as well for the simple fact that if we get the pace that people are expecting, the deep closers have somewhat of an advantage, whereas they can pass the tire horses at the end, and they typically have cleaner trips towards the end because so much space is opening up to make moves and things like that. I think Sovereignty's a solid shot, and then you can't overlook Bob Baffert. Not my favorite person, but Rodriguez is a pretty decent horse.
Yeah, 12-1 too.
Yeah, and again, you're getting those odds right now on a Baffert horse. Regardless of the morality here with him and what he does as a trainer, a lot of his wins have been valid. And so I have to respect that. I'm not going to let emotions cloud my judgment. Rodriguez is also on my list to keep an eye on because Mike Smith, as a jockey, I think is one of the best tacticians at the Kentucky Derby, and one that can navigate, or I trust to navigate, a big field of horses.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, Alan, give us one long shot, maybe 20-1 or higher.
Oh, well, shoot. If you're asking American Promise, because he's the winner of the Virginia Derby, and I'm obligated to promote that.
Absolutely. That's number 5 horse, Jay, there. And I believe Alan said earlier, if you were listening, that the number 5 slot has won the most derbies in history.
Okay.
So that 30-1 spot may not be a bad one. Put a couple bucks on 30-1.
Yeah.
What does that mean if you bet $10 on a 30-1 horse, Jay?
Is that $300?
That is correct.
Yes,
Good job. Well, Alan, we appreciate your time. Enjoy the Kentucky Derby, and we appreciate you jumping on with us again.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care, Alan. That's Alan Sandage. He is the sports director up there for ESPN Richmond Radio. We got to take a quick break on this 2-year anniversary show. We'll be right back.
Drives are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straight away center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Want to experience the ultimate car wash? At Tommy's Express, you'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading, flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Try us for free. Text WASH 415 to 86697 to send our best wash, The Works, directly to your phone. You'll love the sudsy clean, ceramic wax, underbody flush, spot-free rinse, and tire gloss. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today. Offer valid to new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional and information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. From the beach to the bay to the backyard, it's the Inside Drive.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Golf Plus studios, we appreciate Alan Watson and his studio sponsorship here at the Inside Drive. We started as a golf show. We still talk a lot about golf, so it makes perfect sense that Alan has come on board as our studio sponsor. And speaking of our studio sponsor, here on our 2-year anniversary, coming up in a little less than an hour, we'll be doing a giveaway. Jay, remind the people what we got to give away today from Alan and Golf Plus.
We have a Bushnell Golf Wingman speaker. We have a couple of $10 voucher cards.
Equals 20.
Equals 20. We have a Black Clover headwear care kit. Cleaner, refreshener, and a brush.
Yep.
From Live Lucky Black Clover.
Got to keep those hats nice and white.
We do have a white Titleist red and black.
This kind of matches that little panel on the wall right behind you.
It sure does. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. And then we have a Golf Plus t-shirt.
Yes, sir. Nice soft cotton t-shirt. And I'm going to throw in an Inside Drive t-shirt as well. Once we know who the winner is, we'll get their size. James, if you'd be so kind to do that when you answer the phone for our 5th caller coming out of the 1220 segment. We appreciate Alan for doing that. It's about a $200 plus, maybe $220 with the Inside Drive t-shirt. They're about a $220 value giveaway. So again, we appreciate Alan Watson. 2 great locations right here in Panama City Beach in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza right next to Firefly, and of course up there in Dothan off of 231, a.k.a. Montgomery Highway. Not Montgomery, Jay, but Montgomery.
Montgomery.
That's I'm learning. Still getting there. I've been down here for 9+ years now, and still getting the lingo down.
That's right.
You know, I didn't grow up in the beautiful metropolis of Griffin, Georgia, but I've learned a lot from you guys over the years. So
you learned a lot from us. Yeah, you're in trouble, right?
Learned a lot about dialects and accents and how you pronounce things down here in the South. But, Montgomery.
Yes, sir.
Yes, not Mont. No, it is Mont. It's not Mont. You just said, did you say Mont or Mont?
I said Montgomery. Montgomery.
You said it so fast.
Montgomery.
Yeah, there you go. Montgomery.
Still the capital of Alabama.
It hasn't changed.
I can't believe it.
Hasn't changed now. The capital of Tennessee up there. That's probably my favorite moment of the show right there.
You go.
When we asked you what the capital of Tennessee was, and you said...
And it was a confident, very confident Nashville, Tennessee. Or, I'm sorry, Memphis.
Now, Nashville is actually the capital.
Yeah.
And I think we pulled that out of there, and I think it made it onto TikTok.
Yeah, it did. It did.
So, yeah, in your mind, the capital changed from Memphis to Nashville.
Right.
But in the reality, it's always been Nashville.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about a sport you know absolutely nothing about, and that is the NHL, because we've got some teams that have moved on with the gentlemen's sweeps, and the Capitals have officially moved on to play the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes beat the Devils a couple days ago. Capitals beat the Canadiens last night, and they move on to play the number 2 seed Carolina Hurricanes, which I think is going to be an absolutely fantastic second-round series. That game last Capitals kind of got up a little bit later in the game and took it to them and ended up winning and clinching that. They call it the gentleman's sweep, Jay.
Yes.
I didn't learn that until a couple weeks ago. That's what it was called.
Okay.
Because obviously a sweep is 4-0, but a gentleman's sweep, I guess, because you let them win a game. It's very gentlemanlike, but you still win the series 4-0. Yeah, Caps last night won that one 4-1. Great showing there. Another team that has officially moved on in the Florida, the Battle of the Peninsula. You had the Panthers and the Lightning. Panthers were up 3-1 going into that game in Tampa. Ended up winning that one 6-3 with that empty net goal late in the game. So they move on. They await the winner of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. That game is coming up tonight. Toronto has a 3-2 lead. We'll see if the Senators can make it go to a Game 7. It is up there in Ottawa, and Toronto's trying to close out that series and move on to play the Florida Panthers. Winnipeg Jets took the series lead 3-2 last night as well. That was your late night nightcap game. They play again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Winnipeg leads that one 3-2. They beat the Blues yesterday 5-3. Although that game was tied 2-2 kind of in the second half of the second period, and then the Jets got a couple deflection goals, and the rest is history. 5-3 last night in that one. Winnipeg, and no team has yet to move on to the second round out of the Western Conference. Right now, like I just said, Winnipeg and the Blues, Winnipeg leads that one 3-2, Jay. Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche, they play tonight. If Dallas wins tonight on the road up there in Denver, they will win that series 4-2, as they currently have a 3-2 lead. Another game coming up tonight, actually 2 more games coming up tonight. You got the Vegas Golden Knights trying to close out the series in Minnesota as they have a 3-2 lead. And last but not least, the Edmonton Oilers and the Kings are trying to close, or the Oilers, are trying to close out that series at home against the Los Angeles Kings as they lead that series 3-2.
How did your New Jersey Devils do this
I knew
year?
you were going to bring that up. They made the playoffs, so silver lining, but they ran into that buzzsaw that's the Carolina Hurricanes that have just been very good in the playoffs the last several years. And they're just a gritty team. James was talking about it yesterday. They have that grit that you just know they're going to give you their best effort every time. Not that every team doesn't give their best effort, but Carolina just has some kind of extra pop to them when it comes to their playoff series. They beat the Devils in a gentleman's sweep as well. They let us have one in overtime at home, so that was exciting for the home fans. But then they closed out the series in double overtime the other night when, unfortunately, we took a high sticking penalty that gave them a 4-minute power play. They didn't need all 4 minutes. They closed it out, and they move on to play the Washington Capitals. That should be a fun, fantastic series. Obviously, we've been talking to Al Carl. He's a lead ice technician up there in Washington, and he'll be joining us coming up on Monday to kind of preview that series. Obviously, all the games have to be set before they get underway, but looking forward to talking to him about that. Obviously, Ovechkin had a record-breaking season, and they're playing well going into the playoffs as they beat the Canadiens last night to close out the series 4-1. I believe they won the game 4-1 as well. But, your Toronto Maple Leafs, what do you think about them?
Oh, man.
They're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference this year.
Are they really?
Yeah. Well, no, in their division. I forgot about it.
What about Boston?
Boston didn't make the playoffs. Boston had a terrible year. They also lost a lot of people from this past season, but yeah, Marty from Boston was very disappointed.
I bet he was.
Very disappointed.
I bet.
But yeah, the Washington Capitals were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. The Maple Leafs just led their division. But now, if they have a chance tonight to close out that series, you think they'll do it?
Let's go Maple Leafs.
All right. You got a Maple Leaf shirt from Marty from Boston.
I do.
I wore it, I think, last week.
Did you?
Yeah. Don't wear it very often, but it seemed fitting.
Right.
I'm rooting for the Caps, though. I would like to see the Capitals make a nice Stanley Cup run, especially on the heels of Ovechkin's record-breaking season when it comes to single-season goals. And, Joe, just hearing Al talk about him and just He made sure his team came back out on the ice when it was Marc-Andre Fleury's last game. He's just, as you learn more about Ovi, you just realize how cool and good of a guy he is. And he's just one of those guys it's hard not to root for. But yes, the Caps will face the Hurricanes. Looking forward to that series. Jay, pivoting to a sport maybe you know a little bit more about.
Probably not.
The NBA. The NBA playoffs. The first round is getting closed out for a lot of teams, and they move into the conference semifinals. Last night, actually, that was a couple nights ago.
Is Magic still in it?
No, they lost last night to the Boston Celtics, 120-89. So they just, Boston's just a really, really good basketball team, and the Magic, they made the playoffs. They were the number 7 seed, but just couldn't overcome.
They got a win. That
they did. They did.
Playing without a point guard in basketball is not a great thing, but
no, it's very challenging.
They made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, and last year I feel like Boston took them last year too. I feel like
I can't remember.
It seems like
I'm gonna pull a J card in that one. So I remember that.
I remember that one. I feel like it was Boston.
Yeah, don't remember that one either.
Anyways,
could have been. Boston won the NBA championship last year, and it might have went through those Orlando Magic. But we had 2 games last night. The Timberwolves closed out the series against those Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of criticism going against Coach J.J. Redick, but he's got a whole offseason to think about that and figure it out. But they won that one 103-96. And the Warriors-Rockets, the Rockets came out and said, we are not done yet, with a very dominant performance over the Warriors. 131-116, smashed that over, I believe was 204 or something like that, 203 and a half.
Something crazy low like that.
It was one of those that stood out, and then it came to fruition. But I've been kind of on a little heater when it comes to NBA overs right now. I bet the over with the Rockets and the Warriors, and they killed that over, and then I bet the Timberwolves straight up, because you could just see the Lakers were kind of fading down a little bit.
Right.
Just a little bit of an older team, and don't have the depth that the Timberwolves have. Timberwolves move on. They'll face the winner of that Rockets and Warriors series with that next game coming up on May 2nd. That is tomorrow, Jay, not today. Yeah. But it's at home for the Warriors, and Warriors can close out that series. It's currently 3-2 right now, Golden State. If I was Golden State, I would do as much as I can to try to win that game tomorrow night, because I don't think you want to go back to Houston in a Game 7. That might be tough. But I think there's something with Steph Curry when he is up 3-1 in a playoff series in the last decade or something like that, that he is, I think he's won 7 out of 8 or something like that. So if the trends continue, the Warriors should certainly get it done tomorrow night in San Francisco, and we'll see what happens. And then also, let's see, do we have any other games that transpired last night? No, just those 2 last night. We've got a couple coming up tonight. The Knicks and the Pistons. New York Knicks had a chance yesterday, a couple days ago, to close it out at home, and they haven't closed out a home playoff series since 2000. So they're on the road coming up tonight with an opportunity to win that series. If they do end up winning that series, they will move on to take on the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
They need to bring back the Supersonics, man. Do you remember the Supersonics?
I do. Sean Kemp.
Yes. NBA Jams. Do you remember that was the best?
Yes. That was. Who was the other guy on the? Who's the other pair with Sean Kemp?
I can't remember.
Neither can I. That's what I was asking you.
Yeah. Bring back the Supersonics, man.
Bring back NBA Jam.
Yes.
A modern version of NBA Jam.
2-on-2.
I'm gonna find out who was the other player with. Was it SEAN?
I think it's SHAWN.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
Sean Kemp in NBA Jam. Who do you?
Oh boy.
Detlef Shrimp. Remember him? Gary Payton also was in NBA Jam as well. I think most people chose Gary Payton, but Shrimp was in there too.
How about that?
Remember him?
I do.
Yeah. I do. That was a good duo there in NBA Jam, but Gary Payton was the main guy paired there with Sean Kemp. So Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, were there some other franchises that we don't have anymore besides Supersonics?
That's a great question.
Well, I mean, we lost the Hornets and then got them back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Bullets are now the Wizards.
That's right. We've had some changes in franchise, but I can't think of another one that's been come and gone and not come back. Good question. Good question. That'd be a good trivia question. Yes.
We need an NBA. We need something down here.
Did you see it?
The New Orleans Pelicans? That was an expansion, right?
Yeah.
Or was that? No, that was a Charlotte.
Yes, that was Charlotte, and then they went to New Orleans and then rebranded, but I think same franchise, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you've got, what's that? 5 teams that have advanced so far. Cavs and the Pacers, Celtics, Timberwolves, and the Thunder. Jay, who do you think is going to win the NBA championship?
Man. You said the Thunder.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best team in the NBA in the regular season, and they took it to the Grizzlies in a 4-0 sweep in that one. Even though the Grizzlies gave them a lot of fight in that 4th game. And then Nuggets and Clippers, Denver's got an opportunity, but it is in Los Angeles coming up tonight, so maybe the Clippers can extend that series. Send it back to Denver. Either way, I think whatever team moves on, OKC will take care of business and move on to the conference finals in that one. We'll do some picking in the final segment of today, see if we can find some fun bets for everybody out there. I know we got to take a break here in just a moment. When we get back, we've got the Afternoon Delight debrief. Jay, you got any good ones coming up for us?
I think so.
Excellent.
I think so.
Excellent. I got a good one, too, and it involves racing of microscopic things that make babies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a very popular story right now, I think.
Can't wait for that.
But, yeah, I think you can figure out what that is. Yeah. But we'll dive into that, no pun intended, when we get back. You listen to The Inside Drive on our 2-year anniversary show.
We're taking the Inside Drive.
Join Ryan and Jay today as the Best of Bay awarded Inside Drive celebrates 2 years of broadcasting history by giving you the opportunity to win exclusive Golf Plus gear. Set your reminder for 12:40 today and be ready to call 852-215-6290. It's the Inside Drive.
Middays 11 to 1. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Partly sunny this afternoon and evening with a high near 80 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 72. The same tomorrow, around 80 with some sun and a wind around 8 miles per hour out of the south. Partly cloudy in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms Saturday and warm around 78. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Get your mom a beautiful color gemstone that she'll cherish and wear for a lifetime from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. And just in time, Tracy's Fine Jewelry is offering our entire collection of color gemstone jewelry, rings, earrings, pendants, and bracelets at 60% off. That's right, 60% off our entire selection. The largest selection and the lowest prices are just some of the reasons why people choose Tracy's Fine Jewelry to find the perfect gift for Mother's Day. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, 2621 East 15th Street in Panama City.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, it's David Hayes from ESPN Northwest Florida. If you're hurt in a car accident or slip and fall, listen up. Jed Lawyers is the firm I trust. Here's what you need to know. You pay nothing unless they win your case. That's right. No upfront costs, no out-of-pocket fees, no fine print. They only get paid if you get paid. And the best part, they're right here in downtown Panama City on McKenzie Avenue. Call 850-852-0000 or visit jedwins.com. The fee is free unless they win. That's Jed Lawyers.
Broadcasting from the Golf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive.
Skyrockets in flight.
And now, the Afternoon Delight debrief with the 3 degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon Delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share. We appreciate all the happy anniversary comments on our Facebook stream. And, of course, if I was paying attention to it, we got the answer of Sean Payton very quickly when we were talking about that in the last segment. Wouldn't have had to look it up, but I just can't look at the comments and look at all the other stuff at the same time. That's where somebody would come in handy, but that's quite all right.
Dang, that's my second job.
Yeah.
I'm not a multitasker.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. We forgive you. We're just glad you're here today on our 2-year anniversary show. Hard to believe we've been doing this for 2 years. And in light of that 2 years, we're going to give away a Golf Plus gift pack worth about $200 after we come out of our 1220 segment. We'll take the fifth caller at 850-215-6290. Fifth caller wins that prize package. You can come pick it up from the studio. And we appreciate all of our listeners out there that make our show go, because without you guys, there's no point in doing a show. So we appreciate all of our listeners, all of our subscribers, all of our followers on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you don't, just search it up, ESPN Northwest Florida. We also have our free mobile app. Where, Jay?
On the Google Play or Apple Store.
Absolutely. All you got to do is search up 104.3. You'll find it right there in the search results. Download it. We got lots of contests. We just finished up a free T-shirt contest, and all you had to do was click a button. So really, really easy stuff there. Make sure you have that downloaded so you can listen to us wherever you have your cell phone. This would be a great time to give us a call and tell us your favorite moment of the Inside Drive. My favorite moment's when we had old Jay Chapman in studio, and I don't even know how we got to it, why we were wondering what the capital of Tennessee was, and you said Memphis, and then he started telling us a story about the Memphis Redbirds and how quickly he had to leave the stadium.
That's right.
And I was thinking, and I even had to search it up because you were so confident with it that it was indeed not Memphis, and the capital of Tennessee is certainly Nashville, where there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the sports world with renovations and adding on to their football and hockey arenas, football stadium, hockey arena. Jay, you got any good afternoon delight debriefs, or you want me to start this thing off?
You kick it off there.
All right, I will kick it off. The title of this article from ABC7 Eyewitness News in Chicago: Sperm racing inside the first of its kind race that's taking the internet by storm. Just when we thought we couldn't be more degenerate, now we have sperm racing, Jay. Los Angeles. Is sperm racing the next big thing? Well, it might not become an Olympic sport, but it's certainly creating quite the buzz. The so-called world's first sperm race was held in downtown Los Angeles Friday, drawing a rather large crowd. But how did this all start? Well, that's where Eric Zhu comes in. With the help of wealthy investors, the 17-year-old student and entrepreneur from the Bay Area launched a competition to raise awareness of men's health and male fertility. The general public doesn't talk about it because it's so taboo, he told ABC Los Angeles affiliate KABC. It's always been associated with adult entertainment or something that's degenerate. What we want to do is make it more like a sport, a different type of entertainment, but more of like optimizing biomarkers. So how does the race work? Well, Friday's contenders were handpicked out of dozens of young men, were each given money each week to train their mind, bodies, and diets. One race included a young man from USC going against a UCLA student. We got rivalry in the sperm racing already. Just started. We've already got rivalry. The group is what it calls itself the Sperm Racing Professional Sperm Analysis Kit, which measures concentration, mobility, progressive motility, motile sperm concentration, and progressive motile sperm concentration. Didn't think I was going to be saying the word sperm this many times today, but here we are. According to the Sperm Racing website, this group has built a microscopic racetrack that mimics the reproductive system, which includes chemical signals, fluid dynamics, and synchronized starts. They all got to start at the same time or it's not a fair race, right? Then high-resolution cameras track every microscopic move. The entire thing is live streamed, complete with stats, leaderboards, and check this, instant replays. The sperm that crosses the finish line first, which is verified by advanced imaging, wins the race. If you're wondering, the USC contestant on Friday won his race. When you really think about it, we all won our own individual sperm races to get onto this planet, obviously. So it's only fitting that we make a format we can all call and watch and enjoy, said Joshua Gabe, an 18-year-old who attended Friday's race, which even featured a performance by hip-hop artist Ty Dolla $ign. I don't know Ty Dolla $ign, but obviously he was there. The team behind the race consists of Zoo and seven other members, most of whom are active on social media. If you want to learn more, Jay, you can head to the Sperm Racing website.
My question is this more of a sprint or a marathon? What do you think?
You'd have to watch a race.
Yeah.
Looks more parkour-y to me.
Yeah, kind of bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe some hurdles.
I don't know. They have one job. I just want to know when's it going to be on Hard Rock.
You got that right.
Just have to study each individual people to find out who's got a competitive advantage or not.
And how many sperms are in this race?
I think 7. Or no, 8. 8, including Zoo and 7 other members.
I would think the one with the longest tail probably has the advantage.
Got more motility.
Right.
I don't know what the difference between motility and mobility is, but motility may be like how you can go in a fast line or something like I don't know.
Right.
But, it seems like it's all a good thing. Like they kind of said in the article, not something that gets talked about a whole lot is obviously male fertility.
Here, what's the mascot of USC? Is it the Trojans?
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
And you don't want any of those because the sperm race wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they do a job so you don't make that. But I'm telling everybody what they already know. But good job there, Jay. Way to connect those dots. Way to connect the dots.
I may be dumb, but I'm not plumb dumb.
What's plum dumb?
I don't know.
It's just a phrase.
Yeah,
is that a Griffin phrase?
That's a good old South Georgia phrase right there.
What's your? I may have been born at night,
but not last night.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, how ironic! The USC Trojan member wins the sperm race. That's good. Way to connect those dots, Jay.
Yes,
Impressive
sir.
stuff. All right, your turn.
All right. Have you talked about John Daly lately?
Oh, we haven't, but I know what you're talking about. You talking about when he sticks the tee?
No, but just how much money he makes without even swinging a golf club.
Oh yeah, he's a brand himself, man.
He he hangs out at that Hooters up there in Augusta.
He's been doing that since I was in that area.
How much do you think that he makes in that week at Augusta?
That's a tough one.
This is in thousands, by the way.
Okay, thank you. I didn't think it was in hundreds.
Yeah.
Ah, man. I'll just throw out a number. $75,000.
$780,000
in Masters Week up there off of Washington Road.
Yes,
right before you get to Old Berkman's Road, which isn't there anymore.
58-year-old golfer has turned Masters Week into a personal business bonanza. Daly sets up shop selling his signature line of golf merchandise, which I think, what is it called?
Loudmouth. Is what he was associated, but I think he's got his own brand too as well, not just Loudmouth.
$40 hats, $10 autographed golf balls, $250 boxes of cigars. According to Daly, last year's haul reached an impressive $780,000, and he expects to surpass that figure this year. So that was last year's. That was 24's number.
Which is what's crazy because the golf shop at Augusta, well, they do $700 million. So I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but anyways, I mean, it's fascinating to me. How he's and what a guy, though. I mean, I think the one year that me and you saw each other at the merchandise show 7-8 years ago, Daly was the only pro, just walking around without, he was just another dude. I saw him in the bathroom, and but yeah, that's just the way he rolls, though. He's just one of the other guys,
Son's a great college golfer right now, too, with Arkansas. So,
yeah.
Everybody talks about Charlie Woods, but John Daly Jr., I believe, or maybe John Daly the third. I think it's John Daly Jr. Because he calls him John Jr.
That's right.
He's a great college golfer up there at Arkansas. So, and that's obviously where John Daly went. If you've never seen I don't know if it's an E60 or a 30 for 30. I think it's a 30 for 30 on John Daly. It's a fantastic watch and a great one because it really he had a lot of struggles and battled a lot of different things and obviously came out on top. If you're making $700,000+ in 1 week up there at Augusta, I mean that's a good way to earn a living each year at the Masters tournament.
I don't know, from 1990 to 95, 96, he was the Bryson DeChambeau back then.
Oh yeah, it's a great analogy.
Yeah,
great analogy. Kind of changed the game.
Yeah.
kind of revolutionized the long ball. And, he won that PGA championship as the 7th or 8th alternate.
Right.
And then got in and drove all night to get there.
Yep.
I think that was Crooked Stick or something like that.
It was.
And he's designed a few golf courses too. He's got a golf course in Myrtle Beach that he designed, which is a pretty good golf course, pretty fun to play. But yeah, I mean, talk about a story coming out of nowhere, and then you're playing your first major as the 7th alternate, you win it, and then he obviously goes on to win an Open championship as well. What happened to that Open championship when he won? Do you remember?
I don't.
There was a streaker that ran out there.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's perfect John Daly fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right. I'll dive into some other ones
Let
here.
me in on this. I got one for you.
Perfect. Thank you, James.
All right. So this story is coming to us all the way from far off Japan. A climber airlifted with altitude sickness near the peak of Japan's Mount Fuji last week returned to the slope and was rescued for a second time just 4 days later, authorities said Monday.
4 days later.
Officials urged people to be aware of the harsh conditions at the country's tallest peak during its off-season. The climber was identified as 27-year-old Chinese student living in Japan. He made an emergency call on April 22nd and was airlifted after developing symptoms of altitude sickness, police said, adding that his climbing irons also were damaged. Last Saturday, he returned to the mountain's Fujiyama Trail, about 3,000 meters above the sea level, to look for his lost cell phone. Suzuka Prefecture Police said another climber found him there unable to move after apparently developing altitude sickness for a second time.
Man.
Don't drop your phone, kids.
At first you don't succeed. Try again. Yeah. But I guess he was going back for his phone as well. He probably found it on his Find My iPhone, if that was an iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Mount Fuji. That's a volcano, isn't it?
That is a volcano.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Right outside of Tokyo.
Yes. Dormant, Jay. I believe it's dormant. It's not active.
Currently dormant.
Currently dormant.
Can go off if it wants to.
Absolutely. Right there on the Ring of Fire.
Had Godzilla pop out of it.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good afternoon delight debrief. A little scary, but a good afternoon delight.
He's got 9 lives, that's for sure.
Well, he didn't die. He just got altitude sickness.
Well, but to go back after 4 days.
Well, he lost his phone. Yeah, but you lost your phone that one time. You had to call me when I was in Jacksonville, and you were in a panic.
I know. I was like, God, help me.
We got you, though. We got you.
But there's no landlines anymore.
No, there's still a few, but mainly at businesses.
Yeah.
850-215-6290. Give us a call. Going out of the 12:20 break, right around 12:40, we'll take the 5th caller. You could win yourself a great Golf Plus gift package worth about $200. Totally busted. Woman caught trying to sell 2 toes. You could say she got off on the wrong foot, and there were dogs involved too. This article is actually based on real world news. That's all of our afternoon delight debriefs. They're all based on real news. You got to hand it to Joanna Kinman, or maybe foot it to her. The Australian woman narrowly avoided jail time after being caught with, quite a lot, actually. Well, we'll get into that shortly. But the offending act that got her onto the authorities' radar was trying to sell a pair of human toes on the black market. You're probably wondering a lot of things, but first and foremost, how she came into sole possession of part of a foot. Last year, Kinman worked at an animal shelter where 2 dogs were dropped off after their owner died of natural causes. The dogs may have been man's best friend at one time, but they got hungry after he passed and decided that they liked their owner both as a master and dinner. After being dropped off at the shelter, they may have decided that Alpo was better than human flesh, and they regurgitated some of the remains. Kidman found the toes in the trash, took them home, put them in formaldehyde, as one does. If you're wondering why someone would snag a body part or 2 out of the trash, it's not because she had a foot fetish. See, Kidman is, or at least was, part of an internet group called Bone Buddies Australia. Sadly, that is not a dating app, but the Facebook group where users buy and sell specimens, NBC News reports. The 2 digits were the latest in her collection. She posted them on the group, believing she could get the Australian equivalent of $253 by hawking the toes that the pair of dogs had hawked up. Turns out selling human remains is frowned upon down under, as well as acting on an anonymous tip. If they were to harbor a guest, probably someone in the Bone Buddies group. Police showed up at her house where she showed them the rest of her collection, which included an alligator claw, a bird skull, and a guinea pig foot, and her children's teeth. The most surprising thing was, of all, that those were also regurgitated by the dogs. Okay, the last sentence wasn't true, but she did boast that she did boast to one of her 5 children about having the toes and told detective she thought the toes were cool, according to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Kidman was hauled into court and faced as much as 2 years in jail, which would have worked out to 1 year for each toe. However, she was able to skirt prison by pleading guilty to an offensive conduct involving human remains at the Ridgewood Magistrates Court in Melbourne, Australia. Magistrate Andrew Sim told her that she was avoiding jail time by the barest of possible margins and sentenced her to a 18-month non-custodial sentence that includes 150 hours of community service. Kidman's lawyer said when she was pleading her case, she'd lost her job, obviously, and had been subject to public shame online. While she didn't publicly comment, we're sure she's happy to just be on tobation for a year and a half.
Tobation!
Yeah, a lot of these funny articles have a lot of puns in them.
Reason number 2 not to ever go to Australia. From earlier in the show, what were we talking about Australia?
Yeah, you get in a lot of trouble for that. There was a, I don't know what documentary it was, but it was about the funeral home somewhere that were just storing, bodies of dead people and just like not even in like the not even in like the morgue and stuff like that. Just had them like piled up in different rooms.
In Australia?
No, this was I believe it was in Texas, but it was a documentary, something like that. But pretty morbid. But apparently there's a market, Jay.
Dang.
It's a black market, but not good. Stay off that. Don't go on the black market.
Yeah,
Don't go on the black market.
Silk Road.
There you go. All right, Jay, you got any other ones?
Just thinking about that finger in that Wendy's chili back from 15 years ago.
Yeah, she could have sold that one. She could have sold that one.
I got another one for you if you want.
Sure, go. And I got one. Well, we'll see how long this one goes.
Summit County, Ohio. An Uber driver wearing a retired drug dealer shirt was arrested after 24 grams of methamphetamines was found in his car. An Uber passenger texted 911 after the driver mentioned that he had a false bottom aerosol can in the car with methamphetamines inside. An officer with the Springfield Township Police Department in Summit County spotted the same vehicle the next day and conducted a traffic stop on Massillon Road. Upon a search of the vehicle, officers found a false bottom aerosol can with 24 grams of methamphetamine, which is 4 times the bulk amount. They also found 4 pills, a meth pipe, a digital scale, packaging bags, cash, and 3 cell phones. The driver, identified as 47-year-old Robert Rose, denied owning the aerosol can before police found it in the vehicle. Rose is facing charges of drug trafficking, possession of felony drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Just trying to take advantage of his customers, that's all. He's making money doing Uber, he's trying to double dip there.
Watching cops is always funny when they go, sir, do I have, can I search your vehicle?
I have consent to search your car?
Sir, first of all, this ain't my car. This ain't my car.
It's never the car.
Yeah, this ain't my car.
I borrowed it from a friend. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Yeah, hey, trying to double dip there, make a little extra couple bucks.
Yes, sir.
A bottomless aerosol can is where he kept it.
How about that?
Yeah, fake aerosol can.
I wonder what kind of aerosol it was for. Spray paint, air freshener.
Could be.
The air cans.
Might have been like like one of the whipped cream cans.
Oh, yeah.
Just a couple little whippets real quick.
Double dipping the whippets and the meth.
Yeah, that's right.
When in Rome. All right, I got one more real quick before we got to take a break. Owner of lost $5,000 cash thought calls from police were a scam. April 29th, the Michigan State Police trooper attempts to return $5,000 in lost cash to its owner were temporarily frustrated when the money's owner thought the calls were a scam. The MSP, the Minnesota State Police, said on social media that the trooper from the Monroe Post found the cash in the middle of Monroe's Huber Road on Friday. The trooper contacted a nearby bank, which confirmed a customer had just made a withdrawal for that exact amount. Good on the trooper for doing that. The trooper called the person who took the money out of the bank, but soon discovered there was a problem. The subject must have been listening to our PSAs on being a victim of fraud and believed he was being scammed and hung up on the trooper several times, the Post said. The person was eventually convinced that the calls were not a scam and claimed ownership of the lost money. It appears the subject, after making the withdrawal, put the money in their pants pocket and somehow fell out. Michigan State Police officials wrote And that is the end of the story, Jay.
How about that?
But that's a real thing. I mean, even around, the police typically never call you for that kind of stuff. So it's always a scam when you see it. So I can totally see why this person was certainly doing it. But at the same time, they just, withdrew it from that bank, and it was the exact same amount of money. So, But who knows? Who knows? But hey, you never know. You never know what's going to happen out there.
That's right. That's right.
I do know we have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Josh Woodham. He's the lead coach there of the QB Vision Gulf Coast. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
Join Ryan and Jay today as the Best of Bay awarded Inside Drive celebrates 2 years of broadcasting history by giving you the opportunity to win exclusive Golf Plus gear. Set your reminder for 1240 today and be ready to call 852-215-6290. It's the Inside Drive.
Middays 11 to 1. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. Partly sunny the remainder of the day with a wind out of the south around 13 miles per hour and 80. Tonight, look for a light breeze and mostly clear skies with a temperature near 72. Tomorrow, a high around 80 and some sun. Saturday, warm with a high of 78 and some clouds in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Krispy Kreme Donuts has a new Craving Cheesecake collection featuring 3 limited-time donut flavors. There's Strawberry Dream Cheesecake, Cookies and Cream Cheesecake, and Caramel Delight Cheesecake Donuts. All available at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital on 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937. Krispy Kreme Donuts, where you get them hot.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios, it's the Inside Drive. For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf. You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, coming up as we go out of this segment, we'll take the 5th caller at 850-215-6290. You'll get yourself a nice little Golf Plus gift pack here. Jay, what do we got for everybody?
We have vouchers. We have what do we have here?
That's a hat cleaning kit from Black Clover.
Look at this Bushnell Wingman mini speaker.
That's a $100 value right there.
That's a $100 value. Golf Plus t-shirt, Titleist hat.
Yeah, and if you're a Georgia fan, it looks like it's Georgia colors.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be if you're not a Georgia fan, but.
Yep.
But our next guest, looking forward to talking to him, a good friend here of the show, good friend of ours as well. That is, he's the lead coach at QB Vision Gulf Coast, and that's my good friend Josh Woodham. Coach, how you doing today?
Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? Congratulations on the anniversary, my friend.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you jumping on with us here on this 2-year anniversary. As I know you're a busy guy, a lot of stuff going on. You're the quarterback coach and passing coordinator for Destin High School over there. As I mentioned, the lead coach here at QB Vision Gulf Coast. And one of the coolest things, not taken away from the other ones, is he's the co-offensive coordinator for the Destin Girls Varsity Flag football team, which we've been reporting on all season long. Obviously, the season's over now, kind of keeping our listeners up to date on what was going on with that. So, Josh, we'll jump right into it. Obviously, quarterback is arguably the hardest position in sports with everything that they have to know, process, go through, all that good stuff. So how important is specialized training for up-and-coming quarterbacks? And I know you guys specialize in that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I coached at the high school level, and you just don't have enough time in the short little bit of time you get with them for a 2-hour practice, even within that 2 hours, you just don't get enough time to really develop. And then, you get a little bit of film time with them, and even that's a small amount of time. So what we do, man, allows these kids to kind of grow and develop and flourish and really understand the game, from not just throwing the football, but the whole game, from film watching to taking care of their body, just the whole complete package, discipline, leadership qualities. You're not going to get all that. Some of these kids are just born leaders, right? But some of these kids, you got to pull it out of them. So, man, it's a process. It's a process. So, yeah, I don't think you got enough time, at a normal football practice just to develop into especially these kids that are elite nowadays. They've all got specialized training.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that you got to keep doing to progress in this, because, as you always say, there's only one starting quarterback on your high school team, on your college team, on your NFL team. So as it goes up, that funnel gets real tight. And, QB Vision as a whole does a great job preparing quarterbacks potentially for that next level if they got the talent and the discipline. And I think that's what makes QB Vision so special. You've got so many quarterbacks now at the Division I level and high-end Division I level. I know Liam always remembers Femi from last year's camps, and that kid he's gotten so good. Yeah. He's got offers from all over the place and everywhere.
And when he came in, I think he had maybe one, and it was at like a small school. So he's blossomed. We knew he was going to be special.
Yeah, he's an and what's kind of cool about the camps that you do is it's you don't break them out. You break them out a little bit. Like at QB Next, you have the up and coming, and it goes through middle school, and then of course you got the QB Elite Retreat for the high school age quarterbacks. But that's what's so fun about what you guys do is you've got some older quarterbacks with younger guys, and they develop kind of a relationship. So you like I just mentioned, he's a huge fan of Femi, and it's just fun to kind of see that come together with all these different quarterbacks. And of course, you guys don't just work with quarterbacks, but you work with wideouts as well, because you have to have somebody to throw to during these camps. Yep. So what are some of the things you work on with the wide receivers?
Well, I'll be frank and honest. I tell the guys all the time, I'm not a wide receivers coach here. I can tell you what route to run, and really kind of that's about it, and help you with your stance. Outside of that, you don't want me giving a wide receiver. But at our camps, we have guys that are professionals that come in, and they work with the whole group. As we take the quarterbacks and work with them, they're taking all the wide receivers. And basically, as we're teaching fundamentals and basics and mechanics and kind of working into the day, he's doing the same things from stance to get off to where they need to break the routes at, to actually the design of the route, how the routes work, the timing of the route, when to expect the football. All those things, they're being taught. So then when we come together as a whole group, they're over there learning what they need to learn. There's no teaching really that goes into it. We can just get out there and just call it and go. Yeah. And they're getting developed. So, no, we got some guys. It's pretty cool. We've got a guy that's coming down. They do some work with the Tennessee Titans. And so when the visiting team comes to town, they're actually out there working out with the receivers and some of their quarterbacks. When the opposing team, so if they're playing the Raiders on Sunday, they're out there pregame warming up with them, helping them, like throwing balls to their receivers, things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool connection.
Yeah, no doubt. Brings a lot of experience to these different camps. One thing you mentioned there, I'm kind of going off script right now, but timing. As obviously I'm going to talk about Liam every once in a while. I talk about him quite a bit on the show because he's worked with you guys for a while. One of the things he's really starting to understand now, and his receivers are starting to understand, is timing. And if you are not in timing, if the receiver's not getting off the line quick, the quarterback's not taking his right 3-step, 5-step drop, whatever it may be, and throwing timing balls, you're not going to succeed in football. And that's one of the things you guys do such a great job is working on those drop steps, working on those timing throws, because you got to get that ball out at the right time so the receiver is there. That's where he's really starting to understand, and the 7-on-7 football is all about that. And I appreciate Coach Donnie over there with the Beach Marlins really helping him kind of get a little bit better on the timing throws and stuff like that. One of the fun things that you get to do, and I know you talk about it with such positivity all the time, not only are you obviously the quarterback coach and the passing coordinator for the Destin varsity team, but you're also the co-offensive coordinator for the girls varsity flag football team. Talk about that team and how much fun and how different it is working with those young ladies as it is compared to working with the young men on the football team.
Yeah, man, that's kind of like a blessing. You have fun with the high school guys, you know, and the boys are fun, of course, but those girls are holding up a level of fun. Some of those girls are more competitive, I think, than the guys. I mean, they're fun. They know how to have fun. They kind of take things. They're competitive. They're serious about it, but at the same time, they're able to kind of take things with a grain of salt and just enjoy. They enjoy the purity of the game. I guess is kind of the thing that you get to enjoy watching them enjoy. They're learning. They're older girls, but they're still young in their knowledge, and so it's fun to watch these girls develop. Some of these girls are extremely smart, and some of them are very athletic. But yeah, they're fun to be around. They're fun to coach. They don't grumble and complain like the boys do. They're just yes sir, and they jump right at it. And they try. Some of them, you know, they're girls, so sometimes they might be a little clumsy or having to learn how to do some of the technique, and they fumble around at it. But they try hard. They're trying. They're doing all they can. You know, I would say on a day-to-day practice, you're going to get more effort out of the girls, I think, sometimes than we do with the guys. Them guys get tired and get complacent. But those girls, man, they want to get better. They want to learn the game. They soak it up. So it's fun. It's exciting. It's a lot of fun. It's probably, like I said, it's more of a blessing to be a part of it than it is anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this was just your second season playing?
Yeah.
How does it work with like the playoffs and all that? Is it you know, like when you move in college and all that stuff, you kind of got to sit out a couple?
Yeah, how they do some of it is it's regional.
Okay.
I don't think like I think we'll be a 1A school. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to deem us, but let's just say we get deemed a 1A school. We might play a 5A school like Pace. We played Pace this year, and they're a superpower. I knew the minute we played them, they were for real. There's a school we played out of Ponte Vedra, Florida, back in the tournament. That was just extremely. It was like watching a group of 7-on-7 boys play. I mean, these girls were awesome. So they regionally do it, and then I think they sub-regional it out. So even though you're still like, our region would be like Fort Walton Beach. We played, let's see, Booker T. Washington. We played Niceville. We played Choctaw. We played Walton County's not doing it, so we didn't play Walton County School. Bay's not doing it, so I'm trying to think. Most at Okaloosa County. We didn't play Crestview this year. But yeah, even all the way into Pensacola. Some of the schools, I think we played Pensacola High. As a matter of fact, we played them twice. And then we traveled. There's usually a tournament at the beginning of the season that they do in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Jacksonville Jaguars facility. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
They invite every high school team in the state to come in, and they have a big 3-day, I wouldn't call it a tournament, it's more of a 3-day jamboree, you know, where everybody just kind of round robins and they kind of get a flavor and a taste. And you're playing people kind of, you know, you don't know if they're a big school or not a big school. So we play, like I said, we got to play that Ponte Vedra team and played some teams, man, in some counties in South Florida that we probably would never see. But it was a real cool variety of everything. And some teams are just getting going. Some have been doing it for a while. They're very competitive. But the Jaguars came in, hosted the whole thing. Everybody was brought in. I think there was, 300 girls.
Wow.
Over 300 girls that were at this. It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
Some of the NFL players were there walking around, getting pictures made. I mean, they made a big deal out of it. And then there's a tournament mid-season in Tallahassee that they do. So those games, you know, obviously those games don't count. It's almost like basketball. They don't count towards your overall record, right? It's just a tournament. So we did pretty good in the Jacksonville tournament. The Jacksonville tournament, we went undefeated. And then started the season off with a bang, and then started playing some heavy-hit teams like Pace. And we kind of lost a couple games in a row, but went to Tallahassee and did pretty good in that tournament. But yeah, man, it's a blast. Y'all I hope that y'all are about to have a That's true that Bay is going to have some stuff going on.
I know Arnold has already had their meeting for girls flag team in the fall, and hopefully some other Bay County teams will be joining it as well. I mean,
the whole counties are going to do. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the county has to adopt into it, I believe, and then the individual high schools can start making one. But Arnold's got a team coming up in the fall, and would you encourage girls to try out and get involved?
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, no. So Jacksonville, if you go look it up, Tampa Bay and the Jaguars both offer scholarship programs, and there were recruiters at that Jacksonville tournament. There were college recruiters there, and they would go pull girls out, pull them to the side to go find their coaches and go, hey, if y'all can stay on Sunday, we're going to do a specialized invite-only kind of pro day, if you want to call it, and just kind of scout you girls out And I don't think there's any Division I colleges yet that are doing it, but a lot of smaller colleges are doing it. But there were several schools from the state. One of our girls, two of our girls, stayed out and stayed after on Sunday and got looked at. I think that Pace team this year, I think that whole team's going to go play college if they want to.
Man, what a nice avenue to get a little scholarship action.
Oh, it's awesome.
Get paid to go to school.
Building social media profiles to get recruited, just to get recruited.
Yes, definitely. To piggyback on that little comment there, Josh, how important is a Huddle account, a YouTube account, your social media? How important is that in this day and age when it comes to recruiting?
Yeah, part of it, we talked about this the other day, is perception.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it can be positive or negative, but that's the name of the game. You got to have social media. You got to market yourself.
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing it, and if you don't, you won't get seen. I mean, they'll find you, obviously. They're going to find the talent, and if you got a good coaching staff, it'll help you get noticed. But outside of that, I mean, you're independent. You got to market yourself. And then to what level you want to do that is of your choice. But, yeah, it's super important. My son's got – I kind of monitor most of it. I'm not going to get into it, and he knows straight up. This is for real, and you don't go in here and you got to be careful what you post and what you say and what you do. People are watching; they want to know what kind of person you are. So even this morning, he changed his profile picture, and I texted him. I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "No, please change that. That is unprofessional. Get that off there."
Well, that's a great point too.
Huddle is almost a mandatory as you grow on up. I wouldn't say so much at a youth level unless y'all are filming your games. If you're filming your games, yeah, man, you got to have something to be able to go back and film review. So important.
Yeah.
So important.
Absolutely.
We spend hours and hours. We spend at least an hour or two a night, watching film from practices. So,
yep.
You learn a lot from that.
If film is such an important part of the sport going forward, so you might as well start diving into it. But getting back to the point of the social media, it's obviously a positive thing too, but all it takes is one tweet, one post that is not tasteful or something that's derogatory, negative, and these recruiters will go and find that and could be the difference between you getting a scholarship or getting an NIL deal now in this day and age or not. So not only is it important to post your positive stuff, but just don't post anything negative. Don't comment anything negative because you just never know when that's going to come back to bite you. Yeah. Obviously, in our day and age, when we were growing up, we didn't have social media, so we didn't have that chance to get in trouble or have something affect us that was from 10 years ago. But just anybody out there that's plays sports, just know that don't make sure you're being very smart about what you're putting there on social media because it does not go away. Even if you delete it, somebody could take a screenshot of it. And it could live in infamy. Yeah. Josh, if someone
you're part of you're part of their brand at that point, and if they can, if you represent their brand well, then good. But if not, they're going to move on to the next.
Absolutely. If someone's son or daughter are looking to become a quarterback, what are some of the must-haves to be successful in the quarterback world?
Thick skin.
Yeah. Lives or dies by you. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, for real. As a parent and as a quarterback, very patient. You got to have thick skin. You got to decide how serious you want to take it. What do you want to just play the position, or do you want to be a quarterback? So, and I know that sounds like one and the same, but it's not. There's a whole level you can take this to, and that's up to you. And if that's what you want to do, that's great. There's people like me out there and solutions to help you get there. Otherwise, you can just play the game, and that's okay too. Some people just want to play and move on, but those that are serious about it, you got to spend the time. It's got to be a sacrifice. It's got to be a daily choice. It's a lifestyle. It's an everyday thing almost, where you got to behave and practice and do certain things and make certain sacrifices that other folks aren't willing to make. If you want to be that guy, it takes a lot. Like you said earlier, you may have 5 in the room, but only one of y'all are playing. One of y'all's coming on the field, so I might have a wide receiver room of 10 to 12, and they all might get to play.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play one quarterback. So.
That's it. Real quick, Josh, before we got to go, talk about the quarterback elite retreat and the QB Next camp coming up at the end of the month. I know there's no spots left in it, but just give us a little brief.
Yeah, we're
packed. Coming up.
I think we're packed out. I still think, if there are anybody listening, I think there's still some spots for some receivers. I think they're trying to fill just to give some guys some breathing time.
Yeah.
I think numbers they might want to increase, but I think getting apparel and things ordered in time is where the cutoff is. Otherwise, they probably extend it. But no, man, 3-day event, I guess, for the high school dudes, end of the month. We got a lot going on. Max is, man, he's plugging away behind the scenes trying to get it all packed in. I spoke with him this morning. They're trying to get everything organized and packed and ready to go. He is working, to give you a little secret, he's working kind of don't know if it'll work out time-wise, but it might be a last-minute deal with a company that does analytics for the NFL, for you name it, even NASCAR. They do all kind of stuff, and he's trying to get there. They're very interested in what we do, and they want to come out, and this is where they can kind of do more of an analytic breakdown on the quarterback, from mechanical breakdown to everything. Spin rate on the ball, I think, to everything. So he's working to try to get in a deal where they may come down and just be a part, just to kind of watch what we do. And that might be something we add to our program going forward, where kids can come down and get a free analysis from this company.
Yeah, that's
part
awesome.
Of part of the deal. So the balls are prepped. They're getting prepped. I think Max is pretty much done with all the drills and all the competitions and everything. So we're going to be a good time. I think we got a good group of quarterbacks coming in. We're pretty excited. We got some talented guys coming down from up north, from Tennessee area. We got some guys coming from our area. We got some guys coming out of Alabama. I think there's a guy or two out of Mississippi coming, West Virginia. I'm trying to think of all the states. South Carolina is going to be there. So we got some dudes coming, some guys with some offers. So there'll be some talent around. And then, of course, as soon as that, I guess we'll take a break or two, a day or two break, and then we bring in the middle school and youth guys. That, to me, me, I like my little, so I'm looking forward to that. We got some dudes coming. I saw some kids in Atlanta when I was at QB Universe a couple weeks ago that are coming, and they've grown, since last year, and they've turned into young little men. And, oh yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. The middle school talent this year is going to be, I think, off the chain. I think it ought to be fun.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful event, and pay attention, QB Vision. And I know also you do weekly, for the most part. There's some schedule changes, but you do weekly quarterback sessions up there in Freeport, right?
Yeah, I'm at Freeport every Saturday morning. We typically like to go around 9 and go for about an hour and a half. However, we just found out there's some soccer stuff going on, so field space is kind of limited right now. And then, of course, I'm busy with spring football going on, so that's got me tied up. But no, typically I try to go on Saturday, and then on Sundays I go over to Fort Walton Beach High School, and we use the turf field over there. And that's mainly more of a high school group. I got a couple 8th graders, that'll be moving on into high school soon, but they're coming. But no, that's typically just a mainly high school guys. But the Saturdays are a little bit of everything. We got high school and middle school and youth guys there. So
nice, very cool.
So yeah, I'm getting it together. I'm looking to come y'all's way. I think I might be coming out y'all's way soon.
Yeah,
do some sessions out your way. So
that would be awesome.
Look for that.
That would be awesome.
I'll post it on my social media stuff. So I'll get that there. Yeah, wherever I go, whatever I do, if I'm going to change events, I'm usually posting it on social media. But yeah, if somebody wants to, if you don't mind sharing my number or whatever, way to get a hold of me, if anybody's interested, follow me on social media, come see me.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the end of this month.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Me too. Hope you feel better, get better soon.
Yes,
see
sir.
You soon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Josh. Take care.
Bless. All right, buddy.
All right,
bye-bye.
That was Josh Woodham. He's the co-offensive coordinator of the Destin Girls Flag football team, in addition to the quarterback, coach, and passing game coordinator for Destin High School over there. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. Coming up next, we're going to be taking the 5th caller for our Golf Plus package. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Between his dad, Dion, saying during the Super Bowl on multiple interviews, we will dictate terms. We will not play for certain teams. And then between Sanders, Shedeur, sandbagging interviews, nobody wants a celebrity backup quarterback. So now, was I surprised? Yes.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up? Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
It's David Hayes from ESPN Northwest Florida. If you've been in an accident, here's something I tell people all the time. Right after you call your insurance, call Jed Lawyers. They know how to jump in early, deal with the adjusters, and protect you from the start. You don't pay a thing unless they win. And yeah, they're right here downtown. Call 850-852-0000 or go to jedwins.com.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. 4. Don't mind me. I'm just playing through. Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Our 2-year anniversary show. We're ready to give away this Golf Plus gift pack worth over $200. All you got to do is give us a call, 850-215-6290. We'll take the 5th caller, and the 5th caller will win this sweet prize package. You come pick it up at the studio, and also we'll get your shirt size, and we'll throw in an Inside Drive t-shirt as well. We appreciate everybody who's been listening to us and following us for the last 2 years. It has been a fun run. Jay had to go teach a lesson, so all good there. We appreciate him joining us for most of the show on this 2-year anniversary. I will be off tomorrow as I have a doctor's appointment that is a little bit more takes a little bit more precedent than our current situation. All right, we got caller number 5 on the line. Who do we got out there?
Hey, this is LSU Neil.
Hey, how are you doing? Congratulations.
All right, thank y'all so much. I'm very excited about this.
Yes. Are you a golfer?
Part-time golfer.
I understand
Complete and utter novice.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this prize package is, you know, it's a Bluetooth speaker that gives you yardages. It's a couple T-shirts, a hat cleaner, and some bucks to Golf Plus. So that's the cool thing about Golf Plus. Obviously, it's a golf store. They do retail, fitting, and club repair, but they also have stuff for the non-golfer as well. And I understand very much on the part-time golfer. That's kind of where I live at this point in the golf world. But you've been listening to the show for a long time?
Been listening for a while, yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate that so very much. And what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, as far as watching, would be college football.
Okay, that's it. What about? Did you grow up playing any sports?
Oh yeah, swimming, high school soccer, intramural football at LSU, intramural baseball at LSU. You name it. A little bit of it.
Yeah, just a jack of all trades. That's awesome stuff. Intramural sports are so darn fun, and a good way. If you're not playing on the big time levels, intramurals are just as competitive, in my opinion. I was going to ask you, are you a hockey watcher at all? Because you said my favorite sport to watch, and I was going to see if you'd ever watched playoff hockey before.
No, I've only seen one exhibition hockey game. I was born and raised in New Orleans, so not a lot of ice down there.
No, I understand.
I think they had like an exhibition game. Actually, I think it was in Baton Rouge.
Okay, like a little minor league hockey team action.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very, very cool. Well, congratulations on winning our prize package. Do you know where the studio is?
Yes,
okay,
I do.
Perfect. We'll have everything here for you. What's your T-shirt size? Because I want to throw in an Inside Drive T-shirt as well.
Awesome.
Not to put you on the spot for your size of T-shirt.
No, that's okay. Extra large.
Okay, perfect. I got a bunch of those, so I'll bring one in, and maybe next week come by and get it because I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday to bring that T-shirt in for you. Again, congratulations on winning, and thank you for being a loyal listener here to the Inside Drive. And don't forget to stay. Stay on the line. James will get all your information. And again, congrats, and we appreciate it very, very much.
Well, thanks. And Ryan, just want you to know, we're all praying for you.
Means
part of that means is that you have to receive prayer.
Yes,
okay?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. That goes a long way. People probably don't realize how much the love and support goes, but it's reading all the comments, hearing all the things that just, makes this tough situation just a little bit easier. So I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks for calling. All right, we're going to finish up our show today. It's been a great show. We got some local action coming up tonight on the two different types of fields, the baseball fields and the softball fields. We'll start just a quick update on the 4A District 2 tournament. That featured Fort Walton Beach and Arnold High School in the district championship that happened yesterday evening. Fort Walton did get the better of Arnold 5-4. Hopefully, based on Arnold's record and strength of schedule, they'll still get a bid to the state tournament. We'll update everybody on the state tournament, as I believe all those bids will go tomorrow on the FHSAA website. On the other side of the county, I should say, the 2A District 1 softball championships featured North Bay Haven, Walton, Rutherford, Bozeman, Freeport, and Pensacola Catholic. Bozeman and North Bay Haven both had a bye. North Bay Haven, who's had an unbelievable season, I believe they've only had 3 losses so far. They had that bye into the semifinals, which they faced Walton and ruled them 10-0. Bozeman also had a bye and took on Freeport, beat them 6-0, and they will meet in the 2A District 1 championship this evening over there at North Bay Haven at 6 p.m. Winner of that obviously is the district champion, but gets an automatic bid into the state championship. I believe Bozeman or North Bay Haven, whichever one doesn't win, will also get a bid into the state championship. But remember, if you win your district, you get to host a home game, and if you don't win your district, you may not necessarily be hosting a home game, even though you're the higher seed. All right, jumping on to the baseball side of things, we got a couple rubber matches going up tonight. Who do we got? Lucinda Ty. How are you doing, Lucinda?
I am blessed, my brother. How are you doing so far?
I'm doing good. Hard to believe we've been doing this for 2 years, and we very much appreciate you and Rick's support of the Inside Drive.
Well, we love y'all, and happy anniversary to you, number 2.
Number 2. Thank you very, very much.
We love you, and we always pray for you all the time. From the Bayou, much love is sent to y'all.
I appreciate that so very much. Like I said with the last caller, it just, that stuff really makes it not as challenging and difficult as it could be. So we appreciate the love and support. That is for sure.
Well, y'all are like family to us now.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you guys have sang songs here on the Inside Drive, so family indeed. Are y'all back out playing yet?
Yes, a little bit here and there.
Okay. So kind of getting back into the swing of things a little bit.
Yes, and Rick's getting ready to retire June 27th.
Ooh, that's right.
So
congratulations.
Yes, he's going to have some more free time.
Yes, guys, get out there on the playing some music, some beautiful music, of course. Now, when you guys play, do you play under that Seminole Wind name, or is it this kind of a different name when you guys go out there and play live?
When it's Rick and I, we play as Ebb Tide, TYE''D
nice.
Duo.
Nice. I like
that. And then the band is Seminole Wind.
Awesome. So the whole band is Seminole Wind, and is it Ebb Tide?
Yes.
Okay, that's a cool. I mean, way to use your the name right in there. That's a cool way to do that. But Lucinda, I am so very thankful you gave us a call today on our 2-year anniversary show, and I hope you and Rick enjoy the Braves series this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against those pesky Los Angeles Dodgers.
Amen on that. My hometown, and I don't claim them.
That's fair.
I love you, and we're always here for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucinda. We love you, too, and we appreciate all your support, not only for me personally, but on the Inside Drive as well.
All right, my darling. You have the rest of the afternoon. I hope and pray it is blessed.
Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome, honey. We'll see you soon, I hope.
All right. Take care.
You too, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye. Gotta love the Ties. Just great supporters, not only of us personally, but here of the Inside Drive. They've come in and played music, sang songs. Always a great time, and just two big-time Braves fans that they out there in the bayou, as they say. And Braves got a big series coming up this weekend. All three of those games will be right here on the Inside Drive. Unfortunately, they did drop a game yesterday, and the Colorado Rockies ended up winning and not having the worst start through however many games it was. The Atlanta Braves gave them a little bit of a gift yesterday. The Colorado Rockies pitcher, I think it's Dollander.
Doolander, yeah.
Doolander. He's actually from the Augusta area where I used to live. I lived on the other side of the border, but he pitched up there, I think Greenbrier High School, if I'm not mistaken. He was on the mound and got the dub yesterday. Prior to that, he had the worst ERA in the league, and it came down just a little bit yesterday as the Braves only scored 1 run. But you got the Atlanta Braves coming up tomorrow night, 6:15 first pitch. I'm sure coverage starts around 5:20, something like that. Same thing on Saturday, same time, same place, same coverage right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. And then a Sunday night game up there in Atlanta, 6:10 p.m. is the first pitch. Coverage probably starts around 5 p.m. So you can listen to your Atlanta Braves right here on ESPN Northwest Florida all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's going to be a tough series. Hopefully the Braves can maybe take 2 out of 3, and a sweep would be great, but Dodgers are obviously very, very tough as they have a very expensive and loaded lineup. Real quick, before we got to end the show today, I do want to mention, as Arnold has the rubber match against Choctawhatchee, that's actually going to be out in Choctaw, but I believe they took Cooper Moss out of the game early enough in the first game of the series that he will be able to pitch tonight. Obviously, good luck to those Arnold Marlins as they're trying to make a regional final appearance and keep their great season going on. They'll face Clay if they can end up winning that rubber match against Choctawhatchee coming up tonight. I believe that's going to be 6 or 7 p.m. And then we also got action right here in Bay County, another rubber match, and that is the Bozeman Bucks against Bishop Snyder. Bozeman lost the first game 2-0, came back, won the second game 4-3, and now they got a trip to the regional finals of the Class 2A Region 1 bracket. Again, I believe that game is coming up at either 6 or 7 p.m. over at Bozeman. Get out there and support those boys as they are trying to make a run to the Final Four again. All the other local teams not in action in the state championship, but good luck to the Arnold Marlins and good luck to the Bozeman Bucks. James, it's been a fun show. Our 2-year anniversary. We got a win. We got a winner. I'll make sure I bring in that extra large Inside Drive T-shirt on Monday. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but we'll have a great show lined up for you as well. Looking forward to jumping back in on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
You still with your wife, or did she leave you?
No, she's never leaving me.